gorgeous day in Memphis, Tennessee, and we've come indoors to watch the 2006 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. Hi everyone, I'm Sean Royster, alongside former Top 5 pro Aaron Katz. Aaron, this has been an incredible event. Not only is this the most prestigious event in the sport today, but this in particular really has been a special tournament because last week we saw Jason Mannino, the number 4 player in the world, take out the number 1 player, Jack Huzak, in a dramatic match. The crowd going absolutely crazy, and for me personally, the best match I've ever seen.
It was really a unique match. It had so many things going for it. First, it had a great storyline. It had a former champ, former U.S. Open champ, former number 1 defending his turf against the heir apparent to the throne, current number 1 Jack Huzak, and then the match did not disappoint. Each player kept raising their level of intensity, level of play, and the thing that made it really exciting, there's no love lost between those two, and you can really feel the tension on the court, and the crowd, I think, really felt it, and that's what made it so exciting.
Well, first, we've got Jason Mannino, the number 4 player in the world. He really has had a draw to deal with. I mean, unbelievable matches. He took out the champion, Cliff Swain. Let's talk about some of the players that he had to face before he reached this match today in the finals.
Yeah, the quarterfinals, also a great storyline. Cliff Swain, who announced his retirement, the great champion, 6-time world champ, playing in his last U.S. Open, and Jason just came up and played huge. Dominated Cliff, beat him 3 straight. It was a very physical and emotional match, but Jason really dominated the former champion.
Well, Jason's opponent today is currently ranked number 2. He's Rocky Carson. Now, this is quite the contrary. Rocky really has not been tested, as he has just been blasting through the draw, has not lost a single game. Let's talk about Rocky's draw.
No, a combination of the very high level of play that Rocky has sustained and not quite as tough a draw as Jason had. He beat Andy Hawthorne in the quarterfinals in a very easy 3-game match. And then in the semifinals, a bit of a disappointment. Shane Vanderson, who was coming off a very big win that we saw here on the Tennis Channel against Alvaro Beltran, gunning for his first U.S. Open final, kind of came up flat, and Rocky stepped up big and dominated Shane 3 straight to get to his first U.S. Open final against Jason Mannino.
So we've got a Jason Mannino who has just been battling to get to this final. We've got Rocky Carson, who is fresh. We've got the number 2 player in the world versus the number 4 player in the world. This is the finals of the 2006 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. We'll be right back. The Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships is brought to you by Choice Hotels International, family of hotel brands with over 5,000 locations and 8 different brands worldwide, offering every type of accommodation in every price range. We meet all your travel needs. For reservations, visit us at choicehotels.com today. Choice Hotels, we'll see you there. And by Wilson Art Flooring. If it's tough enough for pro racquetball, it's tough enough for your home. Enjoy the beauty and durability of Wilson Art Flooring, available at fine floor covering centers everywhere. Also, Nuveen Investments, dedicated to helping you reach your goals in life. Ask your financial advisor today how Nuveen's growing range of equity and fixed income products can help you support your long-term plans.
And by USA Racquetball, your link to the greatest game on earth. To learn more about how racquetball can improve your quality of life, visit USARacquetball.com for all the details.
It was almost 50 years ago when Danny Thomas had a dream. A dream of creating a unique research hospital devoted to curing catastrophic diseases in children. More than just a treatment facility, this would be a research center for children from all parts of the world. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital has always played a big part in the sport of racquetball. Every year since the U.S. Open began here in Memphis, the players take time out to go over and visit these children. The Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships has donated now over $100,000 to St. Jude's. This helps in advancing the research and treatment for these brave children. Not only is this great for the kids to meet these professional athletes, but it's also a reminder to the players, and all of us truly, what real strength and courage is all about.
Well, I can't imagine that I could have had much of a tougher draw than the draw I had. Playing the number 1 player, playing a guy that won the tournament twice, a 6-time world champion, probably the best player in the world. And, of course, I pulled my calf muscle in the first round, so that didn't make it any easier. but I guess I just took the road less traveled, and it's just something you got to deal with. And as for Rocky's draw, you got to play who they put in front of you. So Rocky made the best of his draw. I don't think he's lost a game yet. So he made the best of that draw, and he's probably coming in here pretty fresh. I don't know how sharp he's going to be, but he's coming in here pretty fresh, and I guess we're going to find out. If I can be offensive off of his return to serve and keep the ball up high on the front wall, not skip the ball, I win this match.
Jason's going to be all over the court. I expect him to be ready to battle, playing his best ball or not playing his best ball. It's going to be hard to beat him because he tries to put you on your heels a lot, tries to push you to the backcourt, forcing you into tough shots, and my focus is just to get him out of center court and and control the rallies. As long as I execute my shots when I get them and control the center court, I feel like I can come out victorious today.
Welcome to the men's pro finals of the 2006 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championship. And Aaron, we are in for a treat today. You are watching the best racquetball players in the world. Currently ranked #2, Rocky Carson, wearing red and white, and Jason Mannino coming off an amazing semifinal match. As everybody has said, we witnessed the best exhibition of racquetball that we've all ever seen, and we've been around this game for a while. It certainly was an incredible match that we saw. Jason Mannino versus Jack Huzak, and Jason somehow came out victorious with a 12-10 victory in the 5th game.
Yeah, this should be another great match. Youth and energy and preparedness as far as not having to work as hard to get to the finals and power all go in favor of Rocky Carson. But they all went in favor of Jack Huzak as well in his semifinal against Jason Mannino. What Jason does have a significant edge over Rocky in coming into this match is big match experience. Jason's finished the season #1. He's been in the finals and won a U.S. Open before, and he's had tremendous command of the crowd. So it'll be very interesting to see if Rocky is as disrupted by Jason's style and involving the crowd as Jack Huzak was.
So with Rocky never winning a U.S. Open title, Jason Mannino knows this, and Jason made it very clear to us yesterday that there's a very special group of U.S. Open winners, and Jason does not want to let somebody new into that category. And Rocky, he is trying so hard to win this U.S. Open, and let's go through some of those names that are part of that special group.
I think it's a membership that has 4 members, or it's a club that has 4 members. The U.S. Open Champ Club shouldn't be too tough to reel off. We got Jason Mannino, who won it once, I believe, in 1999, who's playing here in the finals. We've got the great Sudsy Monchik, who you and I have had the privilege to spend some time with in the booth, who's won it 4 times. We've got the phenomenal Kane Waslinchuk, and then you've got arguably the greatest player of all time, Cliff Swain, who's a 2-time winner. And that's it.
Well, let's see if Rocky can do just that and get his membership title card to this U.S. Open.
Jason won the coin toss. He'll be serving first.
Jason's in the blue, and he wins the toss. And we're about to get started here. It is the best out of 5. Rocky's smiling, pumping his fist to the crowd.
That's good to see that Rocky's doing that, because by engaging the crowd, I think he diffuses some of the tactics of Jason Mannino. Clearly, Jack Huzak started off very much behind the 8 ball because Jason involved the crowd in a significant way, and Jack was uncomfortable with that.
Point. 1-7-0.
Bad start for Rocky. Got a set up off the back wall, right what he wanted. Was a little bit tentative on that forehand stroke. Went for the right shot, a pinch in the right corner, but skipped it pretty badly.
Jason gets his first point on the board, 1-0. It's a good ceiling ball. But a great shot by Jason Mannino. I'm looking down in front here. We see Sudsy Monchik making a prediction right off the bat, calling it in 4 games in favor of his best buddy, Jason Mannino.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me. I've got a match, a pick 'em, maybe a slight edge to Jason.
Racquetball, point.
I'm not going to count Rocky out. He's played great. But Jason, you know, to me the wild card is how well his body recovers. I think if he's anything resembling full strength, I'd have him as a significant favorite. How he played against Jack Huzak, I still think how his body recovers is a bit of a wild card.
And yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. Rocky, again,
Set out.
if you don't know, has blown through this draw. Every player they put in front of him leading up to this pro final, he has just destroyed in 3 games. And Jason, on the other hand, has had to fight his way into this pro final, playing the champions like Cliff Swain, a tough match against Jack Huzak, pushing it to 5 games. And as you can see, this calf brace on the right leg, Jason Mannino, he's got a great get.
Incredible rally.
Hold it. Replay.
A little hinder there.
You know, Sean, we've talked an awful lot about what a toll this has taken on Jason's body and what an easy run Rocky has had. You know, that can work both ways. If Jason physically is able to recover, I think it might be a bit of a negative that Rocky has not been tested at all mentally, whereas Jason played a very tense, high-profile match against Cliff Swain in the quarters, Cliff's last U.S. Open, and was able to deal with that pressure, and then played a very, very difficult match against Jack Huzak. So this is a tight match, and it gets down to the big points. Jason has clearly played more of those big points this week than Rocky has.
And as I was touching on earlier, Jason he's had trainers in his room every single night working on his body. And last night in particular, after that 5 game, Jason really had a couple people in there working on him. He had ice. It was really
3-7-1.
quite a toll it took on the body of Jason Mannino. But look at him; he's right back out here, winning in this first game and diving all over the place, looking good.
Sean, did you have a chance to visit with Jason over some of the physical ailments he's having?
Yeah, and the main issue is really the calf. He has it's very tight. It's a strained calf muscle, or a pulled calf muscle. It hasn't torn, or there isn't real hard damage there, but he can really feel knots in there, and they have to brace it up so that his ankle won't have a huge range of motion. And as you'll notice, when he pushes off to dive, for the most part, he uses that left leg to push off.
The left leg, the calf that's injured is the right leg.
Right, but he uses the left leg.
I got it, okay. And how's his soreness? Is just overall?
He said he was around 90% that he can handle. He used 90% that he was okay, but it's irritating and
That's unavoidable. No, just a replay.
Again, this is a much better start for Rocky Carson than Jack Huzak had. Jack went down 4-0 right away, allowed Jason to get the crowd into the match. Here, Rocky's had a lot of good rallies. He's digging a lot of balls. He's down 2-3, but much better start than Jack Huzak had.
Rocky with his E-serve. That's a good shot by Jason Mannino, playing very well right now.
7-2.
It's 3-2 in game 1. When we get back, more of this men's pro final at the U.S. Open. Welcome back. Jason Mannino with a lob serve to Rocky Carson's backhand, and Rocky rips it. Good get.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
That is unreal.
Good get.
Nope.
I thought that was 2 bounces.
And you don't see this very often at this level, but Rocky just had to put his hand out to give some props to Jason Mannino, because those are just remarkable gets.
You know what? Rocky is one of the nicest guys on the tour. He's really a true gentleman. But I can't help but thinking that might be a little bit strategic not to let Jason get too emotionally involved in the match. I think one of the things that really brought Jason's adrenaline level to a hyper state against Jack Huzak is the fact that there is some bad blood between those two. There's no love lost, and I think it gave Jason that much more motivation. I think Rocky wants to force Jason to generate that adrenaline internally. He doesn't want to give him any of it by his own actions or letting the crowd get into it.
Yeah, that's a great observation. We could definitely feel the tension between Jason and Jack Cusack in that match.
And although Rocky is known as a true gentleman, a great player, not somebody who necessarily embraces the gamesmanship, you don't get to be number 2 in the world in racquetball without understanding the importance of the gamesmanship and the subtle mental aspects of getting to the top.
Skip point.
That's a bad miss by Jason. And again, Jason clearly has not been able to generate the energy with himself and from the crowd yet. He needs a couple of dives, a couple of big shots to really bring himself into this match. Right now, the tempo of the match clearly favors Rocky Carson. Set up off the back wall.
That's a perfectly placed pass by Jason Mannino.
375.
That's a great angle, what we call a C pass, Sean, in that he ripped it. It went into the side wall and then angled back through the center of the court to create the letter C. I'm not sure you even knew that, Sean, because you when you played, you tried to kill everything, so you didn't understand that passing stuff. Back wall setup. Kind of an ugly rally so far. Set up for Rocky.
That's a great shot. Rocky left it up a little bit, and Jason made him pay for it.
Yeah, that was certainly not the quality of racquetball I'm expecting to see throughout this match or what we saw in the semifinals. A lot of missed opportunities, a lot of loose shots. Rocky's last forehand was a setup from mid-court and left it way up for Jason in the front court, and he killed it in the right corner.
Rocky with a great shot. That's one of his strengths back there in that left corner.
Yeah, and you saw frustration on Jason that he left that serve off the back wall. He knows that is an easier shot. If he's going to miss that serve, he'd much prefer to miss it short than give Rocky the time to set up off the back wall. Good ceiling ball by Jason.
Again, that is just very tough.
That's a great sequence by Rocky. He hit a great Z serve, left Jason with no choice but to go to the ceiling. Jason hit a pretty good ceiling ball, and Rocky splat rolled it. A lot of splat shots today, Sean. For people who haven't seen pro racquetball before, a splat shot is when the player hits it deep into the side wall and makes it die up at the front wall.
Oh, 2. Side out, 4-7-6.
That's a tough one to call, too. You got to get this ball on one bounce. If it bounces twice, it's no good. And that is just one set of eyes up here, the referee being able to call that. That's very good on the part of Jason Thorne, our referee.
That's a very tough call with both these players flying all over the court.
Side out.
Boy, again, Rocky looking
6-7-4.
very relaxed, very confident, very prepared for Jason's service game right now. He's really anticipating the serves, either waiting back on them or shooting them, or if the opportunity comes up like that last one to step up, being very, very effective.
Side out.
Now, even though Jason didn't hit the shot he wanted, I liked the fact that he stepped up to cut off that Z serve. I didn't like him staying back, letting that ball get into the third wall, giving Rocky a lot of time to get to the center and set up for the next shot.
Side out.
Again, Jason is just not playing with the same energy or intensity. I don't know whether he would have had that ball, but clearly that was a ball in the semifinals that he was going for, and if not getting awfully close to.
Hold it, replay it. Just a replay. I thought he was going to hit you with the racket. 6-7-4.
Rocky commenting after the rally was over. Jason hitting a good shot. Didn't matter, though. They stopped the rally, and Jason was a little upset because he didn't feel like the ref should have taken away his shot by calling a hinder.
Good get by Jason. May have been 2.
Wow.
Great shot by Rocky. Again, Rocky looked so poised, so under control, really mixing up his shots beautifully. And that rally was a great example. He hit a cross court, down the line. We've seen a lot of pinches and splats, really varying his shots beautifully so far in this match.
And Rocky looked like he's serving. I mean, you talk about the game plan of these players when they come in, and Rocky's really clearly showing that he's had a game plan from the beginning, knows how to play Jason. He's beaten Jason, and of course Rocky has lost to Jason many times as well. But the serves that we're seeing out of Jason aren't as good as we've seen. It certainly wasn't as good as what we saw against Jack Cusack. Let's see if he can. That was a decent one. He makes Rocky shoot off balance.
Yep,
Yeah,
got it a little deeper. And again, the key is it didn't come off the back wall. That's when all of these players, but particularly Rocky Carson, is just devastating when that serve comes off the back wall.
We're going to take a little break here. Jason clawing his way back into this first game. Jason's starting to show
A little more motion. Great get. Rocky moving the ball around beautifully. Set up off the back wall. Down the line set up. Jason's real frustrated with that shot. He kind of got a break. Rocky left his backhand way off the back wall, and Jason really missed his cross-court angle way too short. Gave Rocky a setup in the center of the court with his forehand, and he just very calmly killed it down the right wall.
That's a good pass.
Down, hold it, set up.
Now,
6-7-7.
Rocky is really stuck with that Z serve, and to his credit, he's mixed it up, mixed up the heights, mixed up the pace. But it looks to me like Jason has gotten a beat on it and is going to start cutting it off. I think Rocky needs to switch serves. Great get. Set up for Rocky.
Set out. 7-6.
Again, you know, great effort by Jason. Rocky hit a near perfect pinch in that right corner. Jason very athletically came to center court, jumped over the ball to allow Rocky that angle to hit the shot, and then landed and still was able to launch forward and almost get the ball.
That's a bad miss. That's a couple of these misses on the right side and forehand of Jason Mannino. Screaming at himself.
Yeah, understandably upset. His quality of play nowhere near what we saw in the semifinals against Jack Cusack. Let's see if he can work his way, work his intensity into this match. It's a bad miss.
9-7-6.
You know, we've talked so much about whether Jason can physically recover and the calf and how sore he is and the trainer's working on him. Another big part of the recovery is the emotional recovery. He used up a lot of emotional energy against Jack Cusack. Good serve by Rocky. Jason didn't cut that one off. Great angle. Set up.
Hold it, set up.
He's barely going to hit.
Yeah.
6-9.
That's a tough call. A tough call. You know, Rocky got punished there for missing his shot in the center. Probably was the right call, but it's a pretty tight call. Calling the avoidable on that.
A little bit of exchange. I love it when these players talk to each other. They talk to the ref, and somehow Rocky trying to get the same kind of energy going that Jason does by talking to the ref, talking to the crowd.
Yeah, and I don't know. You know, I don't know. He's trying to get the same kind of energy, Sean. I think I hate to disagree with you. I've been attacked for disagreeing with you too much. I think what he's actually trying to do is diffuse the energy that Jason creates. Get to the crowd first. Get to Jason before Jason has an opportunity to totally dictate that aspect of the match.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Aaron. Actually, just probably wording that a little differently, but the fact is, we saw what Jason can do when he gets control of the crowd and how flustered the opponent gets in the match we saw against Jack Cusack. And, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
And meanwhile, we're back here.
9-7-9.
And look at this, all tied up now.
Out of nowhere, Jason looked like he was out of this game. Rocky was serving 9-6, and this is exactly what Rocky didn't want. He's brought Jason into the game. We hear the crowd in the background getting into the game, and it's 9-9. The crowd will go nuts if Jason hits this shot. Set up.
Wow.
10-7-9.
And you can hear it. Jason's got the crowd right where he wants. Out of nowhere, we were just talking about what a great job Rocky was doing, diffusing the crowd, playing his game, and now Jason out of nowhere is at game point. The crowd, you can just feel waiting to explode. Back wall set up.
Great get. And Jason Mannino wins game one. Rocky was controlling that, and somehow Jason comes back and pulls out game one 11-9. We'll be right back for more of this exciting men's pro final. All right, what a game one. I mean, Jason looked like he was out of it there for a minute and somehow came back and won that.
Yeah, disappointing for Rocky. He was in total control and out of nowhere went from 9-6 up to down 11-9, down one game in the finals here. He's going to have to regroup very quickly.
Let's see if Rocky can do that very thing as we're getting started here in game two. Rocky Carson serving to Jason Mannino. We're in game two, and Jason pulls out game one.
Skip ball point.
And there's a skip.
1-7-0.
And again, to you viewers at home, if you don't know what a skip ball is, when the ball hits the ground before it hits that front wall, that's a skip ball. The object here is to hit that ball as low as you possibly can. That's called a rollout or a kill shot. This is a Z serve to the backhand. Setup.
Skip ball.
Jason skipped that.
2-0.
What's your call there?
You know, I couldn't see the shot. Judging from Rocky's reaction, it looked to me like he thought the ball was good. And he's actually a little, unlike most of the other pros that have no moral issue taking a bad call by the ref, Rocky really is a very honest player. And it looked to me like he even contemplated giving that to Jason, but quickly got over such emotions.
I mean, as nice as he is, in a U.S. Open final, I think he's just going to let the referees make the calls today.
It's a great cutoff by Jason. Great get by Rocky. Set up again.
Side out.
Yeah, Jason, even though he's down 2-0, I like his energy to start this game. I think he's got a little more energy than I saw most of that first game. A lot of bounce in his step, cutting off some balls in the front court that were difficult cutoffs, really taking control of that rally. Let's see if he can continue that energy while he's in the service box.
Point.
It's good hands, nice get.
Yeah, that's just beautiful tactical racquetball by Jason. He hit a great lob serve that just barely came off the back wall. He saw Rocky was so deep he had no choice but to splat it into the side wall, and you saw Jason scamper up to the front right part of the court to cover that splat shot beautifully and touch it right down the right wall.
Side out.
Man, Rocky was all over Jason, and he was looking for a hinder.
Yeah.
And because there was no call, he had to play through it, and very well done by Rocky Carson to stick with it and not give up.
Maybe slowing down. Getting old, man.
Set out.
That's an incredible shot.
172.
That's a great shot. That's a great shot, man.
You're losing to this?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Set out.
Perfect pass.
271.
You know, again, I'm not so sure that Rocky's not going a little too far. I thought it was a good idea for him to diffuse the crowd. I don't know that he wants to bring the crowd into it.
It's a good get. Oh. Wow.
That's an incredible shot by Rocky.
Rocky up 3-1 in game 2. We're going to take a little break here. We'll be right back. Rocky up 3-1. Trying to get a little run going here. Jason really showed that it's never over, as it looked like Rocky was controlling that first game, and Jason ended up with the W on that first game. That was incredible.
I kind of feel the quality of the play picking up, Sean. It was second game. It's 3-1 Rocky, but it's starting to have a little feel like we saw in the semifinals, where a player really is having to hit a great shot in order to win a rally.
And that's a great shot off the racket of Rocky Carson.
Hold it. Set up.
That's a joke. Give me the void ball on his dive. On my dive.
173.
That's a pretty aggressive call, calling the avoidable there. I mean, Rocky had hit a pretty effective down-the-line shot, and clearly Jason had it covered.
What's the avoidable in my eyes then? I mean, because he's totally out of position when I hit him on that dive.
Are you actually arguing for an avoidable on the dive? I mean, you gotta come up with a better argument than that.
Yeah, I know. That's how pathetic that call
Better
was.
argument. I wasn't diving. Turn, set up.
Desperation. Come on.
As Jason's running to the ball, if you're going to retrieve a ball, yeah, I'm more apt to say, hey, if your feet are set and the offensive opportunity is taken away, that's a avoidable hinder. Looked to me like Jason was merely retrieving the ball and going after it, Aaron.
I agree.
First time.
Yeah, no, it's rare.
Yeah, you don't see.
We had to go all the way to the finals before that happened, Sean.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be sitting here with you on one agreed call.
In 8 matches.
That's great. Wow, a bad miss.
471.
You know, a little bit of separation, Sean. We talked so much about separation in the semis, which was very few and far between. Here, Rocky's extended out a 3-point lead, and when points get tough to come by, those 3, 4, 5-point leads almost look insurmountable.
Set out. 174.
And again, it's going to be very interesting to see how the way they are engaging the crowd works out. But clearly what Rocky is doing is much more effective than what Jack Huzak did against Jason, where he tried to totally eliminate the presence of the crowd, and it was clearly overwhelming him.
471.
I agree with that as well. I mean, you saw how bad the mind just kind of deteriorated when it came to Jack Huzak playing against Jason. He really got into the head of Jack Huzak, and Rocky's doing a great job of maintaining composure and staying in this match, and he's up 4-1 in this second game.
Great serve, great seal-on ball. Another good seal-on ball.
Point.
A bad
Boy.
miss. That's a lot of
5
misses.
serving 1.
Yeah, you don't see that too often in the pro game today, where you see a player hit a perfect lob serve, force his opponent to go to the ceiling. That ceiling ball is so effective that it forces the other person to go to the ceiling. And then Rocky hit a great ceiling ball and forced Jason into a very difficult shot. Jason tried to do a little too much with it and skipped it.
Side out. 1 serving
Rocky
5.
got exactly what he would want from the return to serve and just missed the setup.
Yeah, and you can see from his body language he's a little frustrated. He knew that was an opportunity to really start pulling ahead in this game. You know, 6-1, you start sniffing the end and you're 1-1 in games. Should come off the back. Great angle. Good get by Rocky.
Shot.
Boy, that's just beautiful fundamental racquetball by Jason, hitting a great angle, forcing Rocky to go into the back wall first, anticipating the shot, stepping up, having his racket back, and just rolling in that left corner. Just textbook racquetball by Jason.
It's a great get.
That's 2 bounces. Back wall set up. Set up.
Oh, wow. That was awesome.
3 serving
Definitely good get by Jason Mannino. It sounded like you said 2 bounces.
I thought it was a 2-bounce get.
But I'm curious what Jason just whispered in the ear of Rocky Carson.
I think he said, and this is just a prediction, obviously we don't hear the players' mics, next time you run in front of me and jump like that, I'm going to rip your leg off.
Could be.
How's that for a prediction, Sean?
Side out. 5 serving 3.
You know, again, Rocky needs to get it back here. He was 5-1. He was starting to pull away. He missed that backhand setup. Jason's pulled back to 3-5. He was whispering sweet nothings in his ear. The last thing Rocky wants to do is let Jason climb his way back into this game.
Point.
Big skip there.
6 serving 3.
That's a big skip because Rocky looked to me like he was starting to tighten up a little bit, and getting a free point like that off a pretty average serve is a good way to relax yourself.
Rocky off to a 6-3 lead in game 2. Jason leads the series 1-0. Still with that lob Z to the backhand of Jason, and Rocky's got a setup. Another setup, and he makes him pay for it. Jason really...
And Jason's looked a little
7
loose
serving
these
3.
last couple of points after climbing his way back in from 5-1 to 5-3. Those were 2 relatively uncontested points for Rocky to stretch the lead back to that same 4-point lead that he was at 5-1. Every point's so important when the quality of play and the tension is this high. Great serve by Rocky. Good ceiling ball by Jason. Good ceiling ball by Rocky. That's just great racquetball. Every shot there was just about perfect. Rocky's serve caught the sidewall, bounced up high to Jason. Jason hit a perfect ceiling ball. Rocky hit a great ceiling ball, and then Rocky ended it with a great cross-court pass.
Rocky really owning this second game. Playing very crisp. The serves are perfect. His return of serve has been great, too. Jason missing a few, and hence Rocky with the lead here, 8-3.
Another good serve. Overhead by Jason. Set up again for Rocky. Ooh, missed it.
Good shot.
That's a bad miss by Rocky.
3 serving 8.
He got exactly what he wanted. Really constructed a beautiful point. Had Jason off balance, had a forehand setup, and just overswang a little bit. Blasted it off the back wall, and Jason buried a kill shot in the right corner.
It's a good shot by Mannino.
let's see, even though he's a little further down this game, he was down 5 points versus 3 points, 8-3 versus 9-6 in the first game. Let's see if Jason can claw his way back into this second game as he did the first. Great serve. Good C-on ball by Rocky.
Nope, 2-2-2. Point.
2 bounces, a great shot by Jason, and look at this. And there's the setup. Another point for Jason Mannino. Rocky's getting frustrated, has to break the momentum. He takes this timeout.
Good timeout.
And we're going to take a timeout as well. It is 6 serving 8, and Jason clawing his way back just as he did in the first game. Welcome back. The crowd loving this match as Rocky Carson was leading in the second game. A huge lead, and here's Jason clawing his way back just as he did in that first game. Aaron, you can never count Jason Mannino out.
Yeah, it's just amazing. He was in total control of this game, Rocky. More so than the first game. 9-6 in the first, 8-3 in this game, and now Jason's serving at 7-8. Great serves by Jason.
Point.
Wow.
8-7-8.
All tied up. 8 serving 8.
Just incredible. 5 straight points, I think, in one service for Jason.
And how disheartening for a player. Rocky comes in. I mean, if you've looked at just Rocky's play up to this point, Rocky's playing a great match. And Jason over here making some mistakes, and somehow, some way, he's winning the second game. 2 more points, he's up in the series 2-0. And if that becomes the case, that is a tall order for Rocky to come back and try to win this final.
Yeah, it would be a huge test of his intestinal fortitude.
Wow.
I thought that was 2 bounces.
That's
an unbelievable get.
So the one that you thought was 2, they called good. I actually thought that one was a good get.
That was clearly a good get. I thought that was 2 or 3 inches up.
God, man. How many times? How many times?
Again, these are the type of calls that really can swing the momentum of the match. A really close call going against you. Rocky, who has lost all semblance of momentum, let's see if he can take this very favorable call and work it to get the momentum back.
High lob to the forehand side. Jason with the ceiling ball. That's a good one, too. Great pass.
Great get.
Amazing.
That is unbelievable.
The presence of mind of Jason to take that out of the air and bury that in the right corner. That's unbelievable stuff out of Jason Mannino.
That was incredible. One, it was a very smart shot by Jason to cut it off in the air, but to hit a perfect pinch in the right corner is incredible.
And a skip ball. Jason now knocking on the door. Game point. He wins this. He's up 2-0 in the series, and just amazing what we're seeing here.
Good C-on ball by Rocky.
Wow! Oh man, I'm speechless.
Unbelievable.
I just can't believe it. And if Jason can sustain this level of play, Rocky really doesn't have much of a chance. But we're going to find out if Jason can do that very thing when we get back for more of this men's pro final.
0-7-0.
Welcome back, Jason Mannino. Unbelievable stuff. Leading this series 2-0. Rocky is really going to have to turn it on here.
Yeah, and we saw Jack Huzak mount an incredible comeback against Jason Mannino after being down 2-0. and it was not due to Jason letting up at all. It'll be very interesting to see if Rocky, after letting those first 2 games slip away, is able to regroup and mount the same type of comeback.
Here's a setup for Jason. Wow.
You know, here's the only difference. Zach was never really in the first 2 games. So I think it's almost easier to get off the court after being down 2-0, adjust your game plan a little bit. But Rocky, his game plan's been working well. He's had leads deep into both games and then let it slip away very quickly.
Great get. Another great get. Another great get.
Hold it. Replay.
Rocky is going to be very upset.
0-7-0.
The crowd with him on this.
Avoidable, right?
Why is it not avoidable?
I think they called the hinder on Jason's dive before that he got tangled up with Rocky's legs.
0-7-0.
Clearly that last one would have been an avoidable since Rocky was about to strike the ball in the middle of the court with Jason on the floor.
That makes sense. Bad miss.
Just as a reminder, there's to be no flash photography. 1-7-0.
Except when he's returning it on that serve.
And this almost might be a bad omen for Rocky that he's off to a lead again. Great ceiling ball.
That's amazing.
That's an incredible shot.
He might have, let's look at the replay, but he might have been off the ground while he was swinging at that backhand. That is just incredible stuff.
Just unbelievable. Very tough, sharp angle coming in on his body.
Hold it.
Good shot there by Rocky.
1-7-0.
And again, you know, we've talked a lot about what a great player Rocky is, you know, #2 in the world, but really Rocky is still looking for that breakthrough to be considered a serious contender for not only all of the major tournaments, but to be #1. And it's a match like this, coming back from 2-0 against a great champion like Jason Mannino, that earns that type of status. So we'll see if Rocky is able to hunker down, reach deep down into his tank, and come back against what looks to be very dire circumstances.
Miss by Rocky Carson.
And again, Rocky's body language looks like it's inching towards negative. I think in the semis, Sean, you had talked in maybe bringing in some self-help for the players. Rocky looks like right on the border of starting to get a bit of a negative attitude out there.
And how can you not when Jason hits shots like that?
Yeah, and you see again Rocky waving his hand, rolling his eyes. Not a good sign when you're down 2-0 and your back is to the wall. He needs to regroup very quickly. Looks like it's coming off the back.
That's a bad miss, which I thought was a setup there for Jason.
You know, a great example of how Jason rises to the occasion on the most crucial points. That ball off the back wall was actually a much easier shot than the one he rolled out to end game 2, and he left it up at, I don't want to say not an unimportant part of the game, but clearly not as important a part of the game as when he ended the second game. Back wall set up.
No, 2-2-2.
Good call by Jason Thorner. He just gets to so many balls. I can see where you just get in the habit of giving him the benefit of the doubt if it's even close.
All tied up 2 apiece. We're in game 3. Rocky really needs to dig deep if he's going to try to accomplish his dream of winning this U.S. Open title. Right now, that is looking very grim for him. And
good down the line.
Cracked out. Side out. 2-7-2.
Again, Rocky looking for the hinder there. I don't think he saw the ball hit the crack because he was screened by Jason. If it hadn't hit the crack, he probably would have gotten the hinder. But since it cracked out on that left side wall, referee Jason Thorner appropriately called side out in Jason Mannino's favor.
Bad miss.
That's a four-shot. Great serve by Jason. That's Jason's service game right there. If you wanted to have a serve that sums up what he's trying to do, that's it. Get you deep in the court, high to your backhand, trying to do too much with the ball. And here's another one. Rocky goes to the ceiling. Good cross-court angle. Great shot by Rocky.
That's a good shot.
Boy, that's a very high-quality point by Rocky. And again, sometimes those almost work against you because you start thinking how great you got to play in order to win a point. And here you see Rocky poking a little fun at Jason's style, which I don't think is a good idea. I'm not sure what he's doing here.
Wow. This is some antics that I have never seen. As Rocky does a phenomenal acting job, but he's got to do something right now. That's just, I wonder how Jason feels about that. I'm surprised Jason has nothing to say.
He'll have something to say when he hits a winner.
Wow. He hits that shot. We're going to take a little break and see if Jason's got something to say here. Jason showing Rocky how it's really done. A lot of banter going on here right now.
Yeah. Good flick by Jason.
Good
Unbelievable get.
And a skip ball.
You know, Rocky, that was a loose-looking shot to go for kind of a delicate touch. It looks like he changed the grip rotation a little bit. You know, I think Jason's in his head, which I can understand why. He just gets to every ball. You're pressing even when you have a setup. That was a dead setup.
How many Rocky fans we got in here?
If you watch Jason, his right foot touches that dotted line, and it's a superstitious thing that Jason's been doing for many years.
You know, I think it's part superstitious. I also think it's part reminding himself to come back to center of the court. I think it's a psychological ploy, you know, to maintain that center court discipline. Be interesting to ask Jason the origin of why he does that.
Still fell.
He does it every time. He bounces the ball, right foot touches the dotted line, bounces the ball, goes up, hits the left wall, wraps it around, grabs left hand, and there it is. Same routine every time. And you saw Rocky teasing him a little bit with that.
Yeah.
But look at this, Jason Mannino.
And again, it's very, very common. What Jason is doing is almost the equivalent of a golfer having the same swing pattern before hitting a stroke, stepping up to the ball in the same way. So I do think there are some analogies to other sports, the superstition or technique that we see Jason applying.
What a tribute to the heart of Jason Mannino to come into this match and play this well and to be in this position, especially after having such a grueling match against Jack Hughes. Look at that, almost got it.
Yeah, and again, you know, I'm a huge Rocky Carson fan and have been very impressed with how he's played this whole tournament. I do not like the way he's handled this third game. I mean, he really needs to come out here, bear down, really shake off those first couple of games. And it looks to me like he's gotten a little bit too relaxed. Doesn't seem like he's got a lot of fire left right now. He needs to turn it around right now or he's going to be in the locker room. He is in a very, very difficult situation here, down 2-0 and 6-2 against a player that looks like he's got destiny on his side.
2-6, now's the time for Rocky Carson, if there is a time for him to get back into this match.
Jason really making Rocky play from the deep part of the court.
Hold it, replay.
You know, I love Jason's philosophy on the game. He's got a 6-2 lead, still very patient, hitting 2 good ceiling balls. His message to Rocky is, if you're going to beat me from the backhand corner 38 feet, down 6-2 in the third, bring it on, but I'm not going to hand it to you. Set up off the back wall. Ooh, and you can see Jason does not like that at all. He does not want to give up any free points. There he had a forehand setup off the back wall, went for the right shot, took a good stroke, just skipped it by a hair.
Yeah, you generally don't see someone like Jason miss a setup on the forehand side. Jason's just been making shots from all over the court all week long here. And there's a good example.
And a bad serve by Rocky. He did not hit that serve anywhere near as well as he had been hitting it throughout the match. If you remember, almost every time he's hit that kiss serve off the right side wall, it's come up higher to Jason's forehand.
Hold it, 2-2.
That's a good call. I thought it was 2 bounces.
I don't see how you can see that from here. His body was blocking him unless you're just estimating that he didn't get it. I mean, his body was blocking where the ball made contact with his racket. But Jason obviously is passionate about it. Definitely believes he got it.
Yeah, all the guys that have eyes. Maybe those guys.
Time's it. Rocky serving 3, serving 6.
Rocky sets up to serve. Sticking with his game plan with this Z serve.
White. 4, serving 6.
It's 4-6. When we get back, Rocky, Carson, Jason Mannino right in the middle of this men's pro final. The Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships is brought to you by Choice Hotels International, family of hotel brands with over 5,000 locations and 8 different brands worldwide, offering every type of accommodation in every price range. We meet all your travel needs. For reservations, visit us at choicehotels.com today. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there. And by Wilson Art Flooring. If it's tough enough for pro racquetball, it's tough enough for your home. Enjoy the beauty and durability of Wilson Art Flooring. Available at fine floor covering centers everywhere. Also, Nuveen Investments, dedicated to helping you reach your goals in life. Ask your financial advisor today how Nuveen's growing range of equity and fixed income products can help you support your long-term plans.
And by USA Racquetball, your link to the greatest game on earth. To learn more about how racquetball can improve your quality of life, visit usaracquetball.com for all the details.
Rocky with a drive serve. Oh, a lob. Quick. That's tough.
Hold it. 2. 6.
Boy, great shot there by Jason. Looking very lively with his feet, spinning with that forehand.
That's very tough. The crowd loves to see that.
And you saw Jason shake his head there, meaning that's okay. If you're going to hit that shot, go ahead and hit it. Because Jason hit that serve right about where he wanted it. Rocky just hit a phenomenal flat kill shot from 38 feet.
Wow, just missed.
6 serving 4.
And Sean, for the people at home that are not too familiar with racquetball terminology, when we say somebody hit a great shot from 38 feet, the back wall is 40 feet from the front wall, so 38 feet is very, very close to the back wall, very deep in the court, the most difficult place to hit a winner from.
And that shot there, he just missed that. And every single shot is so clutch right now.
Back wall setup.
A good get. And a perfect re-kill by Jason Mannino. And another point scored.
Again, just great anticipation by Jason. He's such a smart player. He saw Rocky was diving to the right. The tendency of any player when you're diving is to punch it cross court, and Jason just went over and waited on the left side of the court for a setup.
And that's a good shot.
A great shot there by Rocky. Again, great fundamental racquetball. Rocky hit a wonderful passing shot, forced Jason to slam it into the back wall, recognizing that was Jason's only option. Rocky moved forward into the court so he can pick it off in the air and hit a beautiful pinch in the right corner. Great down the line. Good flick by Rocky. Set up. A rare ball that Jason did not get to that looked gettable by his standards. By anybody else, that probably was not gettable.
It's now 5-7. Cheers from all over the crowd going both towards Rocky and Jason. They just want to see an extended match. Everybody's loving the level of play.
5-7.
And they just want to see more racquetball.
Yeah, no, they want to. They're, I think, favoring Jason, but they're favoring more racquetball over whatever player they're rooting for. Great get by Rocky. Great get by Rocky. Set up for Jason.
That's tough. I mean, not only the cutoff, not only that last shot, but the cutoff that Jason hit. He's hitting a lot more of those and really being aggressive, and it's working for him.
Just so tough. Just great racquetball. That's a terrible miss and a very loose-looking shot for at this point in the match. Jason serving 7-5. Kind of a lazy approach there by Rocky. Didn't move his feet, so he wound up going for a very awkward touch shot where all he needed to do was take a step or two and probably would have had a very easy shot. Bit of a mental lapse there.
Good shot.
And there, Jason's a little upset with that serve because that's 2 in a row he hit off the back wall, and he got away with the first one, and then Rocky punished him on that one.
I don't know if you remember last year, how can you forget that match against Kane as Rocky came back in that 5th game. He hit so many shots just like that in the left corner with his backhand. And that just goes to show you, you really...
Stepped all over him. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see a step on.
Anytime the ball comes off the back wall on the backhand side of Rocky, it's 99% that he's going to bury that. It's 8 serving 5. Rocky taking his time in the back.
Yeah, he understands that there is not a lot of room for slip-ups at this point.
Point.
And there you see Jason adjust the serve, bring down the height a little bit to eliminate the chance that it would come off the back wall. Forced Rocky to strike it before the back wall, which is a much tougher shot.
Rocky keeping his racket up, taking his time. Wow. Jason's just relentless. And now he's got match point.
A great serve. Didn't come off the back wall. Rocky did not hit a bad cross court. Jason just very calmly and confidently stepped back and rolled out his forehand.
And here is the moment of truth here for Jason Mannino. There's the ceiling ball.
Back wall setup.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Unbelievable.
Jason just so much heart and maintains the membership of U.S. Open champions
to a very select few.
And that is it, Aaron. The U.S. Open champion of 2006 belongs to Jason Mannino, and rightfully so. What a phenomenal and dramatic tournament for Jason Mannino.
He looked like destiny was on his side. Phenomenal win over Cliff Swain in the quarterfinals. A very, very dramatic victory over Jack Huzak in the semifinals. And he just brought his best stuff in the finals today against Rocky Carson. Came back from deficits in the first and second game. And then once he had his sights on the championship, like a true champion, really clamped down and closed out the match in the third game.
And Jason definitely wanted to keep his select membership of only those four players that own that U.S. Open title, and here he does. He doesn't let Rocky take it, and he is, for his second time, he is the 2006 Choice Hotels U.S. Open champion. For myself, Sean Royster, my partner here, Aaron Katz, we'd like to thank Sudsy Monchek for helping us out with some commentary. And for the rest of us at the Tennis Channel, thank you for watching Racquetball. And this was our coverage of the 2006 Choice Hotels U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. Thanks for watching.